my conversation with the Imam, and I also added the following thoughts. One is, after we've come up with an idea of forming the committee, in this age and time, nothing is undertaken without a financial backing to support it going forward. We can also think about establishing maybe what we call some funds for the protection and security of the masjid. So those are the two thoughts I had. And I also mentioned the fact that if we were to begin, I think Fridays would be the first day we can use as a pilot activity going forward, because that's the day we have a much bigger congregation here. Maybe we could elicit the help of law enforcement to give us a level of support, maybe 3 to 4 hours before our prayer, during the establishment of the prayer, up to when prayer is over. And it could be that we can begin that process ourselves before we can approach the law enforcement and seek their help or guidance on how to go about it. So that's the basic background of what we did in California. And if we can begin to think along those lines, implementation-wise, I think that would be a good idea. There are so many other points that can come out as we begin the process, inshallah. Unfortunately, though, I don't have any background in these security issues and affairs. I think it would be good if we can identify individuals within our community who have background or a level of expertise in that. I think their input will also be important going forward. So I'll give the microphone back to the Imam and we'll begin with the
You are the Amir of this sitting now.
Khair, inshallah. So if anyone wants to say something in addition to this, it's open to the floor, and inshallah we'll begin to take some notes and see how we can move the process forward, inshallah. I know in this society, we have responsibilities and duties and responsibilities, and we also have rights. Sometimes we may not know the full extent of our rights until we begin to take steps to find out. I'm not sure if we have any interaction with our local law enforcement on this security issue. If we don't, I think it's about time for us to begin to find out, what they can do for us and what we can do for ourselves also, inshallah.
Did you do something similar at PGMA when you were there?
We did have we had brothers who were security team in Prince George's County. We also had brothers who were worked as a police officers or state troopers who lived in the neighborhood and who came to the masjid regularly. So they were armed police officers and security teams. But on issues such as this, we've in the past, whenever something happened, whether it was what happened at the synagogue in Pittsburgh or the church in North Carolina, we in the masjid, particularly Brother Abdul, would call me and ask me to call the county police. So this was, so then we would get the cops to come on Jum'ah day around 1:25 or 1:15 and they'll stay until 2:15. So the cop, I don't know if many of you may have seen it, cop would park by the entrance. He would park by the entrance outside of the lot here. And so we did those days, those things. And also during the, when we had the Eid prayers, we would call the cops also. And they would come and stay outside of the parking and just monitor from there, right? Without causing any anxiety to the people. And we kept doing this. So this past week, we had the police to come. But for some reason, it was, a late call to him. It was a late call to him, to the police officer in this district. But it was also that he didn't get the message on time. But when he got it, he had called the cops to come, so to monitor the area. We prefer the cops to stay. So this is what I dealt with Lieutenant Francis. And he said, I gave him the schedule. And then also he was interested in knowing if we had other activities. So he has activities for our Saturday school, 10 to 2 o'clock. He also have the hours for Monday and Wednesdays when we have the Quran school, tutoring school here. And that is between 5 to 7:30. So he has that schedule. And he is talking to all the cops in the region, in the Howard County, because they have different districts, to cover that. So I'm waiting him to get that schedule from him. And also he said for the long term, we might think about hiring a cop to come, stay there, or security team to come there and stay there for 4 hours. And they charge, he said, maybe like $50 an hour for, minimum of 4 hours. So he gave me that option too. So that's it.
Has there been any formal or informal interaction between our community here and the heads of the local law enforcement in this area, to the best of your knowledge?
No.
Okay.
Not that I know.
Okay. I think that is something we need to think about, to begin a communication with the local law enforcement and see what it is they can, or is available, or they can do to support our security needs in this masjid. And sometimes if we don't ask, we don't know, and we never know. And then there may be a chance that it can be a partnership between them and us. We take part of the responsibility and they carry part, and then we can build that relationship going forward. And I don't think it will be rejecting outright, because in a way we are helping to draw the attention to the safety of the community here. Yeah, so as a note, I will note that that's something we need to really take right away and move forward with it.
I also spoke with Brother Ali, who has his children in school here, and he's regular, and his family are regular here. And so he's familiar with security stuff. He's done it in the past. So he and another 2 brothers had a talk after Jum'ah, and he had some suggestions. So I actually texted him while I was sitting there, and we turned the camera on, and he will be texting me suggestions he has. But we also had Brother Adam from Gambia. He's in security. So and there was another brother who used to come here once in a while. He's a state trooper, Muhammad, yeah. And both are equipped, and so we did some things, but it's not consistent. It's not consistent right now. So I don't know if anybody else have suggestions. Brother Adam said he's out of town. and we can update him when we come back.
Bismillah, assalamu alaikum. Yeah, inshallah, I like, we are trying to plan for something for the long term. Like, we don't have to wait every time until incident like that to happen, and we will think about it when we will plan for something. But after a year or two, we will forget, and we will be waiting for another incident to happen again, so we can rethink about that. So it's nice if we can have a long-term plan, inshallah. So I like the idea we can communicate with the law enforcement locally and have some regular programs. They can come to talk to us. They can have some training for us here. We can educate our youth and our old, community members as well. It's not only the youngs, because sometimes, something simple, just how to react on the right way at the right time, it can save someone's life. So I am sure that's very important. And as Brother Ahmed, we can also encourage, any local Muslim law enforcement members to join us, like in Salah, on our event. By this way, they can be volunteers. We don't have to have another budget for that. Even if we have to pay them some, it will not be too much. We have to pay $60 or $50 per hour for the regular officer. So that's another idea. Also, a brother was asking me if there is a way we can have a panic system, like an alarm or something here in the masjid, just in case of some emergency happen. Where someone can reach that button and that can alert everybody, or that can be an idea we can think about also, and to see if this can be feasible or it will be hard to do. For example, he was mentioning that 7-Eleven stores or banks, they have these buttons. Some of them will be wireless. You can have them in different places, or some of them will be hidden somewhere, under counter or somewhere, and the response will be very quick for that. You don't have to call police, you don't have to dial 911, just a button, and it's known, there is something going on very serious. So that can help, and the brother here also Khalid, he's the one who was talking about that. Assalamu alaikum. So there is also different ideas, inshallah.
From the Baltimore County Police Department, so that might be a resource. People can just go there and learn and see if there's anything there that we could implement.
Do you know the hours?
I want to say 7:30, but
7:30 this Saturday?
Thursday night.
This coming Thursday.
Okay. It was on Facebook. It's at 7:30 from ISB Thursday night. Active shooter training conducted by Baltimore County Police.
Okay, and that's good. I think that's something we can also maybe ask our local Howard County Police to probably do the same thing. I'm sure they all have the same things.
Yeah, I'm sure they all.
So if you are listening online, there is an active shooter training at the ISB Masjid this Thursday at 7 p.m. Or 7:30 after Maghrib. If you are interested in to do that.
Jazakumullah khair. It warmed my heart greatly to hear that within our community we have a number of people. I heard the name of Brother Adam, Brother Ali, and Brother Muhammad. I think they will be great resource to tap into, and I will humbly suggest that we encourage them, even though they are not here, to be part of the Masjid Security Committee, because their expertise will be very valuable. And then we would begin to form a structure, have activities like the active shooter, if we organize it very well, we request for formal training sessions from the police department. I don't think they will say no to that because they have the resources and the technical know-how. They'll be more than happy to come and help us with training, and we'll put it in a much more formal and organized fashion. So I would humbly suggest we should take the opportunity of being present here to begin to form the membership of that committee, because they will be our eyes and ears going forward. They will report back to the Masjid board, and also we can occasionally have a general meeting for if there is valuable information to be shared to the general community. If it is a Friday, we take advantage of the Jama'ah and then make announcement if people want to stay or come early or something like that. Because if we really hit the ground running, I think we'll seize on the momentum to build upon it going forward. I don't know the rules regarding the board, how we can begin to, or we need permission from the board to begin to form. But I think before we leave here, really we need to have that membership formed, then they can take the responsibility and do the fact-finding and the legwork for us to go forward, inshallah.
There are no red tapes.
Then I would suggest we should begin to form the membership. I will, humbly request, I want to be an active participant with the approval of all of you here, inshallah.
We'll be glad to see, inshallah, brother, if we can help with that.
Inshallah. But in the interest of openness, I have zero background in security affairs. But this is an opportunity for me to learn and also to be a little bit more active, inshallah. So if we can talk to Brother Adam, Brother Ali, and Brother Muhammad, if they agree to really help us, we want them to be active members of such a committee. And then I think it would be a good idea to have the expertise of one of the members of the masjid to chair that, while the rest of us will be under that leadership. Inshallah. Who do we designate among the board members to be the chair of this committee, inshallah? I'll give the mic to you. It's an open discussion, as the Imam said. The brother has something.
No, I think, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah. I think the initial phase, the discussion already, Brother Adam, Brother Ahmed, and Brother Mahfouz and sister has mentioned. I think this is a very good start. But as we move forward, whoever is assigned to take the leadership, and I think this masajid, this Maryam Center is pretty much open from Fajr prayer to all the way to Isha. After Isha, the door gets locked. But in between, I think our cameras are on, so I think our security leader, whoever takes the responsibility, I think we need to also monitor who is the stranger coming, and whether they're coming for Salah or they have other intention. So, things can be, like they can place something and it will explore, later. So that type of measurement we also need to look into. So inshallah, we'll monitor as we move forward.
Brother Habib.
Assalamu alaikum. I have very different thinking about this, and I hope it will not be taken as negative or something. In these kind of situations, my experience is that regardless how much training we have, comes out to be that we have no training. When the real situation is there, practically sometimes nothing works. And only Allah's plan will work if somebody is, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala gives the opportunity to change the situation, to take over the situation. In that case, it may happen. I have seen the law enforcement responding to the situation, and their hands are shaking, and they are not entering the scene because they are human beings too. So, yeah. So in this case, we can talk to the county authorities if they can have armed, uniformed person in presence, because the gun is a deterrent, the weapon is different. Pistol or especially shotgun, if somebody can see that, that is a deterrent. But that person, where that person will be positioned, they can decide. Whatever happens, we come here and we tawakkal ala Allah, inshallah, and we can have some drills, some plan here. We have back door, we have back room, we have other things. So the sisters are on that side. God forbid something like that happens, they can push the door and go out from the back, and we can do the same. And I will not advise anyone, regardless how much training or physical strength you have, to try to take over the person who has the deadly weapon. But when the person is going on free shooting, then it is whatever comes, whatever Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala puts in mind to do, then that is what, inshallah, we will do that. May Allah put us through calm and quiet, and give us the strength, mental and physical, to go through this. It is not easy. And Howard County Police, I mean, it is my personal thing, what I am going to say it as, is not that friendly as the other jurisdictions are. I am saying from my level, being law enforcement, the way they, I have bad habit. I have been stopped by everyone and everywhere. And the way they have treated me or responded when they saw who am I, or when I told them who am I, Howard County response is not that as the other jurisdictions are. How do they seem to be towards us as who we are as in our faith? I don't know. But inshallah, everything will be okay. When they are here, we just like, we should have meeting with them. They know where Dar Taqwa is, but maybe they do not know who we are. They have the beats, prisons. Like this beat is, the officer who is on this duty has this area, Red Branch Road, and this area, and whoever is working on this beat, we can ask the authorities to have him make frequent stops, and when that person comes here, may lay another eye on our location, inshallah.
but there is an exit in the back. I think if there is a case of emergency or people want to run out, everybody will be running through the front door. So maybe this is something very basic we need to start with, just to let people who are coming here to know there are two exits here.
And at least the sisters know.
And the school.
Yeah. And maybe one day we can do that. We have a drill, emergency drill, and let the sisters go through that, whether with shoes or without shoes. If they find the shoes, that is fine. If they don't have shoes, just push the door and go out. And we have to see our patients in that situation, what we, the brothers do, let them go first, or we are trying to rush in between them and make the situation even worse. Worse, yes. Yes, yeah.
I want to ask something that came to my mind. I personally took the training from the state of Maryland, went to classes about how to shoot guns, gun safety. So I have a certificate from the state of Maryland. All I have to do is come up with the money to buy a gun. But I'm saying that the process in Maryland is very difficult. People don't get guns easily in Maryland. Your gun store is not going to sell you something until they see in the state database that you have a license. So people generally who carry so many guns, like the guy in New Zealand, probably got it from another state. Do you see what I'm saying? And in Maryland, you can have a concealed weapon, but that is, if you say, I need a gun, and I'm a businessman, I run my store, then they will tell you, yes, you can have a gun, you can take it to your store, and then you come back from the store, you come home, you cannot make stop to the gas station or the grocery store, you have to come straight to your house. So even if you have a concealed weapon, you cannot just carry it around anywhere you want in Maryland. So it's even like cumbersome. Like if you take a gun to your grocery store and you finish your business, then you want to go home and your wife called you and she said, go stop the grocery store. You cannot stop the grocery store because you have a gun. You have to go home first and drop it in and then go to the grocery. So it's very, very difficult. But what I was thinking is laser guns. Laser guns, you know, the ones that knock people down. Is that, I don't know anything about those things, but they are very powerful. Tasers, they could shoot far away. They could shoot far away. And you don't, and that you can get it. And people, you hit that on somebody, that person is down. I don't know anything about it, but I know that they are very powerful and they are not lethal 99% of the times. Then we take his gun and we beat him.
He's knocked totally back into the full strength, but he comes back. He comes back and he will come back to the direction where he's fired at.
Yes, but if
So,
you have the laser and he's down,
yeah.
like 5 people's laser.
Yeah, if you can find 5 people who can restrain him, then it is
When
okay.
you get the laser,
Yeah,
you take,
yeah.
and the person is down, you take the gun.
Yeah.
And you hit him with his gun.
Yeah. Yes.
No, by the time you apprehend him, you tie him, you hang him outside.
But, you know,
Yeah.
police and military and all them who get tasers, they have to go through training where they get tased.
They have to go through training and they have to be shot at least once themselves to see what the reaction. If I have a taser gun, if I am trained in that, I have to be shot once at least, or whenever the training comes, and then to feel that, how do I feel?
So you know what you're doing to the
Yes.
But that's a law
Yes.
enforcement. And
Yes.
that's a lie.
Yes.
I don't think so.
Yes.
I never see how many person whole teaser.
You cannot go by. it must be easier than a guns.
Yeah, yeah. That I don't know.
Anybody knows about the taser?
I don't know. I know from the job that we had that. We can find out.
Yeah, taser is a good option. Yeah, we can get tasers. Bunch of brothers and sisters can get tasers.
But you also have to look at the security and the maintaining the weapons and all that, because we're a community center with.
No, people take it their home. They own it.
Oh, they would have it in their home?
Yes, you take it with you.
No, but what I'm saying is, if you have someone here having that, or multiple people having it, there's always a risk that it can get into the wrong hands. I mean, we're a community center. We have kids and children and young people. You know,
But,
it could become a safety issue just having something like that. So it has, I've worked in places where even the police to come into them had to secure their weapons in a lockbox before they were even allowed in the area that I was working in. Because it's a huge safety issue.
yes.
And there's big chances that if you have a weapon, it gets turned against you. So that's why only specialized people have these things.
Yes, and one of the brother Ali said that he's done a lot of security. He said part of the security issue is having a walkie-talkie, and brothers out in the parking lot. That's a big portion of it. It's not always using the gun or having a gun. It's monitoring and deterring, monitoring the area and deterring crime. So walkie-talkie and brothers roaming around in the entrance and making sure who's coming, and be familiar, yes, and be familiar with people and whatnot. So that's the key.
Alhamdulillah, a number of very good and strategic points have been made. I think if we have the committee in place, these issues can be formalized and written down in a very methodical way by the security committee, and that is information that can be permanent. It can be really shared with the larger community on Fridays and even on our regular select on a regular basis as we see fit. Now I think I have two more points which we've discussed, but I want us to really nail it down to the specifics before we leave, inshallah. Regarding the formation of the committee, I had the name of Adam, and then Brother Ali, Brother Muhammad, and there's another Adam, and that's me. So we have two Adams on that committee so far, inshallah. But we need the support now. Barakallah fikum. Now, they should. Now?
I will be on the committee.
Alhamdulillah. MashaAllah, too. The greater the number, the better. So I'm alhamdulillah. So we have 7 people on the Masjid Security Committee. Now, in every committee, I think there should be a head. So let's give the honor to whoever wants to take the leadership in that committee, and then we move on now.
Brother Habib, inshallah,
Now.
can be, he's a board member.
Tayyib.
He can be, inshallah,
Alhamdulillah. Brother Ahmed, we are in agreement going forward, Imam, everybody? Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. Brother Ahmed, Jazakallah khair. We want to hear from you. You will take the leadership, inshallah. Inshallah. So, Alhamdulillah. I think.
himself can train us,
Yes. Alhamdulillah. So now what we will do in the next step, Brother Habib, I will confer it to you and Brother Ahmed and our brother. We need to move fast, and I think the first task is to begin to establish a link or a contact with the local law enforcement and see how high we can go and what we can agree with them, with that, inshallah. Go ahead.
I will put him on speaker, but let him know.
طيب بارك الله فيك.
عاملين meeting for security. ممكن احطك على سبيكر، ممكن تسألك 3 أسئلة. حاجة تبع security، ماشي؟ خلاص احطك على سبيكر. السلام عليكم.
Oh, ما شاء الله. Okay, state trooper. Oh, ما شاء الله.
السلام عليكم.
السلام ورحمة الله.
Assalamu alaikum, Brother Muhammad. Wa alaikum assalam. We are gathered here regarding the security of our masjid and our community. And inshallah, we'll take turns if brothers have specific questions for you, and also you can feel free to give us an overview of how to get organized and how to get started, inshallah. Yeah, so we will let you take the microphone over and give us some of your thoughts before we get specific, inshallah.
Brother Hamid told me that you guys have some question marks, right?
Say that again?
Question.
Oh, okay.
He told me that you guys have questions.
Yes, the questions will come from individuals, but we gathered here, about an hour ago, trying to figure out how to begin to form a security committee for the masjid and the activities that would be important for us to be aware of going forward.
I'm sorry, can you repeat the question one more time? I couldn't hear you.
Oh, okay. Okay, let me try again. Oh, don't use Okay, Assalamu alaikum.
Make echo.
We gathered here with the Imam and our brothers here, trying to begin the process of forming what we call our local masjid security committee. And we wanted to tap into your expertise. If there are any guidelines of the door, of the gate, you can share with us at this moment.
Yes. So there's some classes for civilian they are offering, and sometimes the mosque at Crofton, they offer it as well. It's called the how to respond or civilian response to active shooter. So those classes, they teach the civilian what to do in case of the active shooter event. So let's say, look up Allah, there is an active shooter happening at any place. Doesn't have to be at the masjid. On those courses, they teach the civilian how to respond. Like, what's the best way to respond? Is it to run away? Is it to hide? Is it to attack? And they give you different scenarios, and it's very, very beneficial for civilian. So they offer that for civilian, and it's for free. You don't have to pay anything. So I think if at least group of each community take those classes and then teach it to the rest of the community, it will be very, very beneficial for all the Muslim communities around. They do that. So let's say if you guys have like three brothers, they go to the Mecca Learning Center. They have Brother Aziz over there. He's a martial arts expert. So he teaches that class. Sometimes Anne Arundel County, they came and teach that class at the mosque over there at Croft. If three of you guys go there and learn, then you can come and teach the other brothers in Mariam Center.
Brother Ahmed, just I will interrupt you for a second. This coming Thursday at ISB Ar-Rahman, there is 7:30, there is a training going on, and I think it's a county police, I believe. They are arranging this, so some of us will be going there for that training.
That's very good. So when you go there, then when you come back to Mariam, you can teach or you can offer that class, same class, and teach it. Or we can ask Howard County to come and teach us that training. So some police agencies they offer it for free. It's same thing with Anne Arundel County. They offered it for free for Mecca Learning Center. But the main thing is whenever you get the training, you want to train the community with it.
Okay.
So you Brother Abdul Hamid will send out an email with a specific date and time and say, hey, we have this training coming at Mariam at this date and time, and for our own community.
Inshallah. Okay. Let me let you.
Assalamu alaikum, brother. This is Ahmed Elmi. I wanted to ask you, we had a discussion about tasers for some of the responsible brothers and sisters to have tasers. Do you have any thoughts on that?
If you have, like, I myself, I don't have a taser, and I'm in law enforcement because I didn't get the training. And also, my agency, they don't even offer for the taser. I mean, it's good, but it has specific requirements. One of them, you have to have a permit, like a security permit or something. But in the other hand, the pepper spray.
What is free? That's like a hand's length.
I can bring it to you.
That's like what?
Yeah, that's very good. Jazakumullah khair.
Talk about also the camera outside, complete camera. That got the tag number for each car.
Yeah. Okay. So you said there's a training, but can you carry it around once you are trained? But are you saying you have to be in a security company, work for a security company to carry that?
No, you have to get the training from a certified person or agency.
Okay.
And pretty much the easiest way is from a security company.
Okay. Just like getting the training for gun ownership, right?
Yes, just like that. Just like you get the gun permit.
But you can carry around the taser, unlike the gun.
Yes, you can carry it around as long as you have this training certificate.
Any question?
Yes, I will ask him.
Okay.
Anyone can carry the gun?
Yeah, you can carry. You can carry the taser.
Which one, the electric or?
The prices are different, but you have to go to training, and the training is like 1 week.
I asked Muhammad 2 days ago to do it. You can carry gun and go to anywhere, you know.
Yes, you can carry the tasers anywhere. Yeah. But the gun is just at the home. It's very difficult. Gun, they don't want you to carry around guns. But I want to tell you, Brother Ali and Brother Abdul Majid. You know Abdul Majid?
No, I don't.
Abdul Majid works for DC Fire Department. He used to do training at DGMA for emergency preparedness and readiness. So he's very well known on security, knows about security. And Brother Ali knows security. They both texted me and they said they wanted to be on the committee.
Alhamdulillah. What is the, you said Brother Ali and
So
who
you
else?
have already.
Abdul Majid.
Yes, I give you their phone. Are you the one who's managing the list?
Inshallah, I'll manage it. Yeah, so I think after this, I will write the names and then we'll take time to get all the names and numbers, inshallah. You know.
So those are very good. These two brothers were talking about the same thing after Jum'ah, after the last Jum'ah. They were talking in the parking lot about this. And he's the one who said having the walkie-talk and monitoring the parking and outside the area is one of the biggest things.
But who stay outside? Prayer for Friday prayer.
Well, that's
Someone
the
can stay
question.
outside?
In fact, the brother Ali called me and he asked me, he said, ask the Imam about, being a security during Jum'ah prayer.
Okay.
Yeah, that's a fiqh question. But, I need to really research that.
Yeah. Regular salat is okay.
He's asking if can you do some kind of as in the case of war, where the guards would be trained on prayers, which are after war. I don't know if that is
manage محمود الله اعلم يعني هل فيها سماحيه الله اعلم مش متاكد قوي من الحته دي. I'm not sure exactly because they make safe for all people here stay in prayer, you know. If someone is stay outside, it's safe for all people. Allah alam, I'm not sure exactly. But can pray after that. So.
One masjid that they do that. They have two people outside during the prayer.
But there are two prayer, I believe.
You have a point there. I don't know. We have to pray. Here, if we have people standing there, they will miss prayer. So we have to get a fiqh opinion on that.
Yeah, is there
Or we can get brothers who are doing the security can maybe go to like masjids nearby that have earlier salah.
Last week the officer came here like 12 o'clock.
Yes.
As I'm here, and we were at the table for food.
I called. Yeah.
But I told him we'll start 1:30 and finish 2:15.
Yes.
The prayer.
Yeah. He knew that, but I don't know.
But
He
we
just
don't show
wanted
up,
to check.
you know. We don't show up after.
Yeah.
Do you remember I met you
Yeah,
like
yeah.
1:50? I mean.
Yes.
So, inshallah, Brother Muhammad agree.
No.
He is a committee with us.
Alhamdulillah, alhamdulillah. That's very good.
He added something important too.
Okay.
Yeah.
The brother.
I would say he should lead the committee then. He should be the leader of the committee.
Where does he live?
He's
I'm not around the county.
He's far away.
I
Greenberg.
disagree. Yes, you are local here. Okay, you can give him, assign him, free, give him an opportunity to lead and this, but you'll be the Amir, inshallah, since you are here, inshallah. Yes. Yes.
Yeah, so he added something important. Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. He added something, inshallah, in every gathering, like Friday, we have to let the community, county police know that. And they need to show up. It's not like to tell us, like before, we will be on the area, like 2-3 blocks away. No. Tell them we need visibility. 1 or 2 officers to be here, visible to the community. We have more than 100 members coming in our prayer, and for safety, we need someone. If he said, I will be around, tell him what's your name, what's your badge number, and we will call his boss. He said, by this way, we carry them responsible, and they will not refuse. He has to come.
So the lieutenant officer that I spoke to is going to have someone be here during your time.
That's good. Yeah, it's important. Any masjid or church, they have to do that.
And also, yesterday a sister told me during the school for children here, we should have a way to lock the door. Can we lock the door? She asked me. So, but I don't know how effective that would be because the person can break the window and the door. But it would add a challenge for that person.
we tie the camel
Huh?
and then say, we are under danger of them. If that happens, whatever. But we do what we can do.
Right. So so Brother Abdul, I think also, I think you and I were discussing this yesterday. I think the camera here, we need a camera whereby we can see people coming in now and leaving, but there are cameras where you can talk to the person. When you see the person walk in, you can push the button and say, "What can I do for you?"
If you close the door now, the mother or father will come, give him the number for door. He can't stay outside,
Yes, but we can have maybe, a volunteer to also let people in and so forth. I think we can look into that.
And doing this,
Mhm.
so they will not be, already scared as they coming in, and there are some who might not come, and might not bring their children.
In other words, we shouldn't create a sense of insecurity
Exactly.
in the area. I think that's part of the duties of our security committee to educate all of us on that, inshallah. That's a good answer.
What we can do is we can keep the door, locked in certain hours. We can program it for that, and that will be during the school time, like from 5:30 to 7:30. The door will be locked, and the parents will know the code. The door has a code. You can enter and open, or the sister will be here. Whoever like have an attendance sheet or something, so she can have another button when she will see who's coming. Unlock door for him.
So there will be an automatic button from there. That,
We can add that. Most of companies.
Or speak something that they need to talk.
or the camera can tell us too.
We can connect the camera with the TV here. We can make it turn on the TV here. When someone outside, because now I see outside dark. When I stay here now, I can't see anybody
No,
outside.
no.
It's dark. That's right. You can connect with the TV. If someone outside, I can't see. If someone is staying in the office here and over there, he can't see. That's right.
Yeah, you're right. Yeah.
And also tell the kids for emergency, for any reason, something happened, أعوذ بالله, the back here, no, that's supposed to be to tell the kids the outside emergency door outside.
Yes, we talked about doing the exercise, doing the exercise.
Information about Allah لا قدر something happened, can run it, Allah حافظ بإذن الله. That's it.
We still have 4 minutes for Aisha.
You want to kind of summarize?
ما finish it, Mahmoud.
لا لا تفضل.
Alhamdulillah, we thank everybody for the opportunity to be here and to begin to at least have a genuine, open dialogue on how to begin to take our security issues and put it in the front as a concern. Just by way of a recap, we've alhamdulillah identified at least a committee that will carry this responsibility forward. We will tax the committee with the ideas that have been brought forth here. We would have it probably written down, and then we will seek the advice of the individuals on the committee with their expertise going forward of how to have a concrete plan, to move the process forward, inshallah. And on that note, I will let the Imam, inshallah, give us his closing dua bi-idhnillah.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك جزاكم الله خيرا
جزاك الله خير.
So inshallah we can have all these options on the table.
من يؤذن يا شباب
أخونا جمال
هنا جمال
أذن يا مؤذن
هي مؤذن أذن. هي مؤذن أذن.
So I just posted the flyer for active shooter at ISB on Bayern Islamic Center. Bayern Islamic Center.
الله